So we're still working on the Delton fire wagon diorama.
Right.
We've been on this for a few weeks. We bought this guy. It's missing something right there.
Manhole cover?
That's actually a tree well.
Oh.
And at one point in time, there was a tree there.
Oh, okay.
So on the original diorama, let's take a look at that. There was this little tree. This is the photograph out of Lenny Sloboda's catalog. And this was, of course, part of Lenny Sloboda's collection. So we're fortunate to have a photograph of what it looked like when it was brand new. And there's a little tree there.
Okay. Apparently the tree attacked the horse.
I think the horse attacked the tree. But when everything, this is what happened during shipping, when it was shipped to us, and the horses all came loose, and they were rattling around in here, smashing up the diorama, and, well, there's what's left of the tree trunk right there.
Oh, goody.
So it's obliterated.
Yeah.
It's completely obliterated. So I was thinking that this would be a great place for you to build one of your wire trees.
Oh, those are fun to build anyway.
So you've been building these forever.
Oh, for a long time. My brother-in-law taught me how to make them.
So I was thinking that you could show us how you build a wire tree.
Oh, that will be fun. Usually I just use an old extension cord and take the insulation off from it, but this jewelry wire is really pretty. Besides, I don't know if we want a copper-colored tree.
Yeah, we were thinking that this khaki color, they're calling it khaki, is more like the bronze brass that the horses are made out of, and we want to just leave it as a bare wire.
Right.
So let's use that instead.
Right. Now I needed to make a lot of the wire strands about the same length, and where I'm not working with a section of extension cord, I decided I'd just get a piece of board and just wind this around and around and around to make quite a few strands.
Yeah, we measured the front of the building and determined that a tree of approximately 7 inches would look the best.
Right.
A lot bigger than the original tree.
Right.
But so we just chopped off this piece of wood at 7 inches, and you started winding up the cord.
Right.
And you want the tree this tall, right?
Yep.
About
that tall. A little shorter is fine.
Okay. A little shorter. It's
No
probably
taller
going to be.
than that, yeah.
Okay. Information. Let's not do that. Actually, it's pretty good.
So I decided I'd better secure the ends of this thing with some kind of painter's tape. I decided to wind it loosely on that board, so that it can come off really easy. And I used to help my grandma a lot with crocheting, and this is how you make fringe for crocheted vests and things. So this is kind of the pattern I was following.
I imagine if you didn't secure that and you just started cutting into it right here, it'd just be a tangled mess all over the place.
You know the Foley sound for a spring? Yeah, and there'd be wire everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Now comes the truth of the moment here.
Yeah.
So once all my little wires are free, then I try my best to get the ends to line up as close as possible. And then here's the part where you just start twisting. And of course this will be the main trunk. And I don't start right at the very, very end twisting. I like to start twisting, maybe about 1.5 inches from the end, because I like to incorporate roots and things like that in the trunk part.
No, I need some kind of like vice grips or something.
Yeah, I find the vice grips help me to keep better hold of the wire. My poor hands have arthritis, and it's a little hard to hang on tight sometimes and get a good tight wrap.
We actually bought some special pliers for doing this, but it only works on smaller trees. but they actually twist the wire for you.
Right.
It has like a little egg beater attachment or something.
Right. This one I like to do it by hand because you need to be able to give the trunk a unique shape. Now here comes the fun part, just deciding where your branches are going to begin. And I just start dividing it, sort of like braiding girls' hair, but just dividing it into sections, maybe 2 or 3 to start with. And then each section will get twisted the same as the trunk. And then just keep dividing it again and twisting more. Try to keep it going the same direction. And just keep twisting till you end up with individual branches.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Oh, I love it.
The invention of the tree shape.
Right.
Just the finer and finer branches, and then as you're going, you're just saying, gee, how do I want to shape my tree?
Right. And as you can see, it's starting to look like a tree.
That's really cool.
Yes, they're just, I mean, you can do it any way you want with as many branches from the trunk as you want.
And I imagine you could come up with just about any type of tree.
Oh, just about.
Because any tree's made the same way. They all grow the same
Well,
way.
not a
pretty much.
not a conifer, but you know, a deciduous tree, sure.
Sure. Well, actually, we did have a close friend who used to make conifers with a similar technique.
Right.
He made his branches out of wire, but this was our good friend Al Badham.
Right.
And he used to work on Steve's railroad back when Steve had a railroad, and he made this entire forest of pine trees, conifer trees. And they're all made the same way. He took sticks out of his yard off of a willow tree, and then using the same, what's funny?
Oh, when you said sticks, and there's Al sticking his tongue out.
Right. Anyway, these are sticks out of his yard off of a willow tree, and then he forms the branches the exact same way, although they're much, much smaller. He's using a much smaller wire, a 38 gauge magnet wire that they usually use for winding electrical motors. And then, of course, he's not leaving it metal color because he wants a natural look, so he's painting them brown. But all he makes are the branches, same way.
Right.
And instead of looping them around a board, he just loops them around his fingers. And he would refer to these as a 2-fingered branch or a 3-fingered branch or a 4-fingered branch. And just depending on how big he wanted them to be. And then he would cover those over with Woodland Scenics ground foam.
This is the same, but it's a little bit different. For one thing, I'm twisting together a whole lot more wire, but on a deciduous tree, if you will. I like the way the wire makes it look like bark.
And it's a heavier wire.
Oh, yes.
Which looks much more appropriate here. We also left a little stud where you were forming the roots down there.
Right.
Just a little piece that's just twisted straight down so that we can drill the base and stick that into the hole. That way it just mounts directly to the base with a little twisted wire piece that goes right down into the base.
Right. Now, one thing you can do is kind of just twist and reshape the pieces until you're happy with the size of the tree. And then once you're happy with the size of the tree, you kind of trim off a lot of the excess smaller branches.
In this case, we were right up against the front of these buildings.
Right.
And so the whole shape of the tree had to match into the diorama and look proper.
Right.
Especially where you've made a much larger tree, and I think that looks much better than the smaller tree.
Right. Now you can put like leaf material to these trees and glue it on there to make it look leafy, but it's going to block your windows, so I'm not sure what you want to do about that.
Well, and I want the tree to continue having its bare metal color because that's what the fire wagon has.
Right, and I like the looks of these trees without leaves, to be honest. Well, how about this? Here's an idea. Because when a fire might occur, it'd be like toward the fall of the year or even in winter. How about we just do some autumn leaves on the ground that the tree has already shed its leaves?
I love the look.
Me too.
Anyway, you make some magnificent leaves.
Yes, I have a gizmo to make leaves.
And they're the perfect color. Those look just like a big pile of leaves.
Well, they're made from leaves. Last fall, I went and got busy with some colored leaves and made my own mini leaves.
Yeah, the aforementioned gizmo is this little punch that we got from a website called Green Stuff World.
Yes.
And boy, do they have neat stuff at Green Stuff World, but there's your little punch.
Right, and you can use paper like I'm using there, as long as it has a colored side. But you can actually use real leaves like I did last fall.
And there's the shape of this leaf. They make punches as oak trees, willow trees, whatever kind of leaf you want. Mm-hmm. And then you just punch out your leaves.
Yes.
They look great falling on the ground, but there's techniques where you can kind of suspend these up in the tree as well.
Oh, right.
And boy, that's just the most fabulous look.
I love it.
These are rather small leaves. They're supposed to work well for 1/32 scale. They also have even smaller leaves.
Right.
And now they've got some larger leaves too, but just on their website, Green Stuff World. And I'm just amazed.
Well, I'd like to get some more punches too, just to make different size leaves, because no two trees have the same kind of leaf.
Yeah, and I love their maple tree.
I do too.
I want to get some maple leaves. Then I was a little concerned about how we would secure these to the base without any kind of residue showing or anything. And I just decided, let's just try the tried and true old technique with highly dilute white glue.
Well, I just kind of dispersed or scattered the leaves about just to make it look like that was the last leaves falling off the tree.
And once they were looking great, I very gently spritzed them with a fine mist of water so they wouldn't just blow away. And then using an eyedropper, went in with highly dilute white glue, which if it's dilute enough won't dry shiny, and dripped that into the existing water that was there on the leaves and let the glue dry, and there it is.
Oh, neat.
They're not going to blow away or go anywhere.
Let's hope not. Just like real ones.
Yeah, if you don't rake them up in the fall, they're still there.
Even if you rake them up in the fall, they're still there.
Well, anyway, that's how you make a twisted wire tree, even a twisted wire branch for a pine tree. I hope this was informative and you enjoyed it. Now, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And the easy way to subscribe is with the upcoming blue button. Zoink! Right there, the blue button. We're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Tuesday.
Right.
We'll see you then.
We'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.